So every year I have to do this video because things and times change and I really do have to update the tips, especially after a global pandemic. Now, if you're looking to start a business in 2022, I'm going to be sharing 5 things you need to know to start a wedding or event planning business successfully. And at the end of this video, I'm also going to be giving you a checklist that you can download with over 20 items to check off as you go through the process. Hi, I'm Jody Ann Rowe, founder of the Event Certificate and EventPlanningTemplates.com, and I work with event planners and wedding planners to help them get more leads into their business. If you're struggling to find leads, if you're struggling to get traffic to your website, come on over and let's chat. www.eventcertificate.com. So if you're starting a new business this year, I just want you to be mindful of a few things going forward, and I'm going to share 5 key areas that you want to focus on. So the first one is your business foundation. This is important no matter what type of business you're starting. You need to get all of these set up before you start working with clients. Now, I met so many people who they started their business and they didn't do this, and that's fine, but then they had to work their way back, and you don't want to be in that position if you already know the steps. So the first things you want to do is you want to choose your business name, and I'm going to link a video down below that you can look at that will help you do that very quickly. You can also register your business once you have a name, and I also have a video to help you do that. Once you have those 2 things set up, you can go ahead and do everything else, such as open a business bank account, or you want to speak to a lawyer, or you want to check your state and city and province laws to make sure that there's any licenses or permits you need as a small business owner. You get those started as well. So here's my thing with the business foundations. These to me are the most crucial part of actually starting your business because they give you the foundation that you need to have a business growing successfully. Now, will your business not be successful if you don't have a business bank account? Of course not. But think about it this way. When you start working towards your goals and your business start growing very quickly and you're looking something at like your finance, you don't want to be backtracking. It's important to separate your business and personal expenses and revenue very early. That way, for your own knowledge, you will know how much money your business brought in versus your personal expenses. You will also be able to know this when come tax time, when the tax man is knocking at your door and telling you what you do or don't owe them, right? And you want to actually have that clear on paper so that you can agree or disagree. So look into getting all your business foundations first and foremost before you even launch the business. The second thing you want to do is you actually want to start establishing an online presence. Now, since the global pandemic, this tip is probably the most important right now. Well, next to number 1. So your online presence is really important because as we've seen in the global pandemic, when you couldn't actually interact with a ton of people, you had to be on quarantine. If you didn't have an online presence where people can access your business online, you were probably having a difficult time. And a lot of business owners were rushing to get their online presence set up. You won't be that person right now because you know that coming out the gate that it's important to set it up. So look into purchasing your business domain, whether that's with your business name or with your own name. And pro tip, I actually recommend purchasing both. So if your business name is not your own name, purchase your own name. You should always own your own name online, and then also purchase your business name. And I'm going to link a video below that goes through how to choose the best domain name for your business. And believe me, it's one that you want to pay attention to because I also show you in that video how to get traffic very easily just through purchasing a domain. Now, the domain is not free, but there's a ton of other things online that are, and those are your social media accounts. You want to go ahead and set up every single social media platform possible under the sun, even if you don't plan to use them. And here's why. You might not be using TikTok for your business. Guess what? I don't. But You want to secure that account because if someone is searching your business name for some reason and it comes up, you want that to be you, right? You want to have your information listed there that they can find. The other thing is that you actually want to secure all of this before someone else does. There's similar business name out there, as well as there are people who are a little scammy who will actually cyber squat on your name, meaning that they go ahead, they hijack your business name, they hold it for ransom until you come for it, and you don't want to be in that position. Now, the third thing you want to do, and this is kind of important as well, actually, all of these tips are, what am I saying, is that you want to start getting your business tools in place. You might not have a client as yet, but you still want to have those business tools ready. And I'm talking your contracts, your proposals, everything you use to work with clients, your templates for social media, all the things, you want to get those in place. One of the best ways to do this is through our client relationship management system. Let me say that again, a client relationship management system. So there are a couple of them out there. Actually, there's a ton, but I highly recommend doing Honeybook or Aisle Planner. Those are the two that I often recommend to my client. There's also Dubsado that I use myself, but I find Dubsado does require a lot of customization, and most of the wedding and event planners I work with, they're not at the stage where they want to go that far as yet. So Aisle Planner is great for wedding planners, but you might find it doesn't include certain features that you want, in which case I say definitely look at Honeybook. Check out both, see what you like best. I'm going to link both below, and then you can make the decision that's best for you. Now, once you have those tools in place, I'm going to touch on a side that I don't often, which is the creative side, because I'll get asked this a lot by potential clients, and they'll say, well, do I also need to purchase a ton of decor and supplies just to have in place, like, inventory? And my opinion is a little different here, because some people will say, yes, go ahead and purchase it. I say, no. Here's my reason for that. I don't believe in stockpiling inventory before you have clients in the hopes that you'll be able to show this client and they'll want it. Because clients' tastes, they vary and they're different, and they might not be the same as yours. So you don't want to get stuck with a ton of inventory that nobody wants. And I've seen this happen to clients before, where they go out, they see all the things that look great to them and they know would make an amazing addition to any event in terms of the decor. So they go ahead and purchase it. And then they book the first client, the second client, the third client, and nobody likes it, right? So you might have these beautiful luxe chair and all your clients are coming to you. They want like an outdoor barn wedding. Those don't quite work together. You get what I'm saying, right? So you don't want to be in that position. The other thing too, if you have a ton of inventory, you have to store them. You might have to go rent a space, or they're just taking up space in your home, right? And there's going to be a cost to them. So if you don't have to incur that right away, I say hold off until you really do. Now, tip number 4 is that you actually need to start building a portfolio. This is a very important step, because right now, before you book clients, if you don't have images and stuff to show them, it's going to be very difficult. I'm going to be honest. I tell clients all the time, they'll come to me and they say, well, I've never actually booked a client, or I booked a client that was years ago and I don't have any photos. Well, guess what? You got to get them together, especially if you're in a saturated market where those event planners and wedding planners are at the top of their games. You cannot play around. You need to be at your top, right? For you to be booking clients. So here's what I often recommend. I say to clients, you need to start from the ground. Start with the simplest, easiest things possible. A lot of event planners and wedding planners are often the people in their family and friend circles who are always being responsible for planning events. If that's you, you probably already have photos ready to go from those events. So go through Facebook, go through your phone, go through your computer files, and find all those event pictures and pull out the really good, stunning ones. Don't pick that crappy one with your aunt with the chicken bone in her mouth. Like, no, we want the good juicy stuff, right? The decor, we want the lush and luxe. And once you have those, I want you to just start saving them. Just create a folder and save them and call them event images, and start saving them by the type of events. That way you start building a bank for yourself, for your business, for when you hire someone on, if someone's doing your social media, right? You just start building that library. Now, here's the other thing that you can do. In addition to those, I've met people who they might have worked with people before. Maybe you planned someone's wedding was years ago. Go back to them if you can and get those photos. If not, Google is your friend. Search on Google. A lot of wedding websites that couples put up will be online for years, and you can probably find them. Reach out to the photographers. Do everything that you need to get those images in place. The other thing you can do is that you can actually volunteer. If you have a friend or family member whose wedding is coming up, just say to them, I'll help you plan it. I just need the brand and the images for my company, right? And I'm sure they will say yes. And you can work with them and get all those good images from the photographer that you know are going to be on point. They're going to be crisp. They're going to be clean. They're going to be stunning. And that's what you want for your website, for your social media, to brand your business so that people will look and say, oh my God, this looks amazing. How can she do it for me? Now, of course, I'm going to give you the last one in that if you're at the stage where you've gone through all those steps and you still can't find any branding images, well, guess what? You got to set something up yourself. It's time to do a styled shoot. Now, whether you choose to do this style at home, I've seen clients actually set up their own home, set up their own backyard, and style it completely for a small party or a wedding and just had a photographer come in and take photos. Or you can, collaborate with a couple of vendors such as a cake decorator, like a cake designer. You can a photographer, put together a couple of people, I'm just throwing out names here, and just put together a nice team. You can set up a style shoot, and I'm actually going to link you to a video because this is not my expertise here. I'm going to link you to a video by my friend Abik Carter, who she actually did a little tip video on how to set up a style shoot well, and I believe she actually has a guide that you can download that will help you to go through a checklist of how to do that really well. And I'm going to link that video for you. Now, in terms of all of that, I want to point out one thing, because a lot of these images are focused on the event side, which you really need to have. That's important. But the next thing you want to do is you want to have random images of yourself. I'm a firm believer in that you want to focus on your weddings and the type of events. But in today's society where so many things are online, it's important for people to see behind the business. Who's running this company? Who am I going to be working with? And that, my love, is going to be your beautiful face. So if you don't have any branded images, now is the time to do them. Go get some headshots taken. Set up a little branded session. The branded sessions are so much easier than you ever imagined. I explained this to a client and they actually had their jaw drop. They didn't know it was this easy. You can book a photographer and that photographer will book a space for you that's already in someone's home, for example, like a really nicely decorated loft. You just come dressed, they take photos, you go home. That's it. One price, one package. It's that simple. In the end of it, you get really nice shots of yourself in a nice space that you can incorporate on social media and on your website along with your event photos. Now, that was a long tip, but it's leading us into our final one. Tip number 5 is the important part in terms of getting clients, is that you need to now start marketing yourself. Now your business is registered, you have a name, your online presence is there, you have your images, everything is good to go. But you need to actually start marketing your business. If you're one of those people who are lucky enough that the minute you say you're starting a business, you get a ton of friends and family referring clients to you, great. You're in a good spot, enjoy it. If not, you're probably going to need to market your business. And this includes actually promoting yourself within your circles, promoting yourself online, doing all the things you need to do to get traffic to your website. Because guess what? Clients are also searching online. They're searching things like wedding planner in my area, wedding planner near me, and you want your online assets to be showing up. Your website, your social media. So you need to start marketing your business. There's a couple of things you can do. You can market for free on social media. You can do organic marketing, which is something I specialize in showing my clients how to do, right? Organic marketing means that people are finding you without you paying for an ad. But you can also pay for ads. And the paid ads, you can do Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google ads, YouTube. There are so many ads you can run, right? Just think about what's best for you. Now, I'm going to give you a pro tip coming from a marketer, and that is I always recommend starting with organic marketing. The reason I say this is that organic marketing will live online the longest and give you the longest length of exposure. So clients who can find you in 30 days will still find you 2 years down the line, 7 years down the line, right? Where a paid ad, where you're pushing people to come to you through a payment method, right? You're giving them an ad in their face and they're clicking over. A lot of the times, once you turn that ad off, you stop getting clients, right? And I believe that you should have an organic presence first and then go into the paid ad. However, that being said, everyone's business is different. You need to do what's best for you, but organic does mean longer term in a lot of them. So think about YouTube videos, blog posts, maybe your local area needs a podcast, maybe you have a ton of brides who are looking for tips, whatever you need to do to really get that out. Now, you might notice that I didn't really say social media, and I'm going to tell you why. Social media is great, but it has a very short lifespan, which means I can post this video on YouTube and probably 7 years from now, you can still find it if you search the right things. On social media, you can't really do that. If you go on any platform, go on Instagram, go on TikTok and search them, the posts that come up will probably not be 3 and 4 years old because there's a lot more content, it's a lot more fast paced, and it's just a lot more turnover, right? Insta means instant, Instagram, right? You know what I'm trying to say. So think about that. So make sure that when you're investing your time, you're doing it in methods that will get you long-term results as well as the short-term ones, but don't spend a ton of time on the short-term ones instead of looking at the longer-term things that live online. Got a question? Just ask me about what that means. So those are the 5 tips I have for starting your event planning business in 2022. And I'm also going to include a checklist below with over 20 items that you can actually just check off as you're going through the process. It's a little bit more detailed, a little bit more broken down so that you can ensure that you don't miss any steps. Now, if you have any questions, drop them below this video. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you can get more videos like this week after week.